Grand rising, grand afternoon, grand evening, or grand rest, wherever you are, whenever you tune in. This is going to be the next session for what love is asking of us next. As you can see, I still have the cards on the table from yesterday. We're going to be going into the Woodland Wardens next, as mentioned in the last live. I'll be going live again later on today. But for now, we're going to get this out of the way from yesterday's message, and we're going to move along. To the Woodland Wardens for more of what love is asking of us at this time. Going into desires, feelings, anxieties, disappointments, and so on. Before we go into the cards, I'm going to say a quick command blessing. Dear source of all that is, was, and will ever be, I thank you today and each and every day for all that you do and all that you do as we stand in your divine authority, commanding in alignment with your perfect will. By the power of divine law, we now open our lives to abundance, security, stability, and protection. No weapons formed against us shall prosper. Every case, cause, concern, conflict, and negative confrontation, every evil eye, ill wish, dissolves into nothingness by the radiance of divine light. We command true prosperity to flow into our lives. We command good fortune to follow us in all things, and we call forth true love, divinely ordained, harmonious, and eternal. May our paths be illuminated, our spirits fortified, and our lives a testament to the boundless grace of the Creator. So it is, so it is, so it is, so it shall be. Here we go. What love is asking us to see at this time in terms of our desires? The bobcat and blackthorn with patience. Interestingly enough, blackthorn, I do believe, came out of the seed and sickle in yesterday's messages. Let's see here. So we will be taking a look. Sure enough did. This also came out yesterday. So more of that in terms of our desires. Perhaps we'll see if any other cards synchronize in that manner. I will also be bringing in the Rose Oracle, inspired by the Rose Without Thorns, that showed itself from my other deck. So, the Blackthorn. What I see here is the desire to no longer allow other people's opinions to take away your confidence. An unexpected change. Your desire is to make the correct next step, regardless of the unexpected. Because there's still indication that even with the unexpected, the collective is still going to come out on top. Take your time. Follow that desire to take your time. Something about rationing your sustenance more carefully and not putting out or giving away too much all at once. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else would love like us to know at this time in terms of our desires? Oh, okay. Inspiration. The collective has desire for more inspiration. Ultimately, what I'm seeing here with the salamander and the black pepper is a desire for more energy and inspiration to come in. Let's keep going. What else does love ask of us to realize in terms of our desires? Metamorphosis, the frog and the lotus. desiring growth. For some of you, it's to the extreme, desiring a complete overhaul, a rebirth, contentment, self-acceptance. But there's also this part of the collective that desires to control everything. And this is where we're being called to allow these changes to take their course. Being more accepting of the changes you cannot control. Let's move along. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger, Source, what is love asking us to realize about our feelings at this time? Upheaval. The Vulture and Asphodel. And I'm pretty sure the Seed and Sickle also has an Asphodel card in it. Let's see here. Asphodel. I know what's in here. I just have to get to it. And here it is. Alright, let's see what messages we have coming from the Asphodel in terms of our feelings. A turning point. Realizing there is a decision that needs to be made here. Some feelings are cropping up about a person who may have gone away. And forgotten about you. But Holy Spirit is saying that they haven't forgotten about you. You may be feeling the desire to reach out beyond your typical route. Some of you may even be feeling to a degree that your life has been ruined. And you just want to clear away all the rubble and start all over again. Some kind of trauma. Feeling as though you need time to grieve. something about tending to your wounds before you move on. Holy Spirit wants us to realize that there is value in what has been lost. And it's okay to take time to grieve before we rebuild. Just keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, what else is love asking us to realize in terms of our feelings at this time? New opportunities. Anticipating them as they have already presented themselves in this session. The hare and the oak. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that the oak card is in this deck. Because that one also came out yesterday. Excuse me. Some of you may be feeling a bit neglected. Like we've been offered nothing but empty promises. Perhaps the dividends aren't matching your level of work and expertise for some of you. Otherwise, feeling as though you need to prepare better to power through. But Holy Spirit wants us to know that our sacrifices will be repaid. We've been going deep, becoming more sturdy. We are more self-sufficient than realized. Even though we may not have been feeling that way, we're capable of weathering any storm and emerging ready to face the next. Feeling as though you're ready. You're ready to discover more of your potential. But at the same time, you're feeling as though you're just so humbled by these important lessons. But yet there is this lack of appreciation. In terms of modesty. regardless of that, there's still this part of you that is like feeling confident and strong. Like we just went through something major and we're still here. Like we made it. But there's something about modest fortitude involved here. Like we've just been thriving and striving without really announcing it. Despite others' predictions that we should be traumatized and scared and losing sleep and all these other things, so that they can be right about their narrative or pretend to play the hero. But the truth of the matter is the collective is stronger than we initially realized. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source, what is love asking us to realize about our anxieties? What are we being asked to realize about our anxieties? I'm going to just grab right here. The possum and the peony with bashfulness. Realizing that those periods of solitude are necessary for it. But moving forward, being sure that when we do go into solitude, that it isn't driven by fear. Responding more instinctually. In terms of more instinctual is also more effective. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger, Source. What else does love want us to recognize in terms of our anxieties? If any. Alright, that's a full pass, so we'll do the same thing again. We have, go figure, we have anticipation. With the quail and the gooseberry. It's like it's okay to anticipate things. Taking more advantage of our foreknowledge. Is it being more prepared for what's to come reduces that anxiety. Disclaimer alert. Not a doctor, not a diagnosis, not a prescription, not a prognosis. I am simply the messenger. Please do not pew pew the messenger. We're still being guided to keep a careful watch, though. Follow our instincts and our intuitions. when they alert us to anticipate danger. Source, Holy Spirit, what else is love asking of us to realize about our anxieties? To remain confident, or to have confidence with the boar and the pumpkin. To realize our confidence is well-founded. Any insults or attempts to damage our morale will roll right off our backs, becoming more thick-skinned, especially towards those who intentionally place specific words in our face to try to get our goat. Certain words and behaviors are intentionally being displayed to get our anxieties elevated. Sometimes our fearlessness can lead into dangerous territory. But we're still being guided to embody that self-assurance, nevertheless. Continue to improve our confidence. Focus on accomplishments that you can be proud of instead of the anxieties. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What is love asking us to realize about our disappointments? What is love asking us to realize about our disappointments? To remain determined no matter what. With the ram and the dahlia, it kind of looks like the flowers that I've been painting a little bit at a time. Still working on them. So it started out looking a little bit more like this, just like some preliminary splotches. And then we're adding the layers little by little. And the next layer over the top of this flower is going to be the finer strokes and lines to create more detail in the flowers. And this section looks like a hot mess right here intentionally, because eventually there's going to be something else right here as like a overlay. Over the background, or over the flowers as a background. The flowers are like going to be, you'll see when it's done. I've already seen it. I've already seen the finished product. It's going to be great. But that's what they remind me of, those flowers. So perhaps they're meant to be dahlias and not chrysanthemums, because that's kind of the direction I was aiming to go, was make them look more like chrysanthemums. Alright, let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, what else does love want us to realize? about our anxieties. Oh, wait a minute. I was moving along to disappointments, wasn't I? In the immediate orbit and what love wants us to realize about our disappointments, we have mischief in reverse and the deceit card right behind that. So, some kind of energy that started out as mischief, but then that was turned on its head and it became full-blown deceit. Love wants us to beware of a charmer who's also a stranger to us. Beware of a charming stranger who may come off as playfully mischievous, but consider what they may have to gain from our trust. Some of you may be dealing with a situation where you're really disappointed that another isn't putting their trust in you. Perhaps due to a little bit of playful mischief that was really just harmless. Perhaps some kind of prank or something along that line that had another disappointed in you. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is love asking of us to realize in terms of our disappointments? The turtle and the coriander. Number 31. We're being guided to avoid rushing into anything, any kind of goal, just for the sake of winning. As long as we arrive in our own time, nothing that we do is going to lead to a disappointment. This is slow and steady wins. And I've been saying this since 1994. The turtle always wins the race. And I started telling that story in 1991. Some kind of story that we've been telling. For some of the collective since 1991, for others since 1994. That you either thought was a disappointment or that it was going to lead to a disappointment. But We have happiness in the immediate orbit. The opposite effect. Beware of taking on too much. We may have things under control, but that balance is delicate. Honor our limits to preserve this outlook, this more positive outlook. The ease will override the disappointment. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source, what else is love asking us to realize about disappointments? Oh, quite a bit I see. We had 4 cards come out. Beginning with the crow and the dogwood. This is intelligence. We have all the tools necessary to solve any issues that may have been standing in our way. To rely on that inward connection for strength and those golden nuggets of wisdom. Something about following our intuitions and our instincts that will not lead us to disappointment. Something about prior disappointments that only made us stronger, where we were able to withstand the pressure no matter the weather. They also have devotion, the sheep and blackberry. You may have been disappointed in terms of those you leaned into to find wisdom and stability. But at first you were disappointed to realize that the wisdom that you were seeking had to be discovered from within. So it was like at first you were seeking externally for that intelligence. But by becoming more devoted to your own energy, honoring your promises and your practices, remembering where we came from, where we started, it's protecting us from further disappointment. some kind of creative practice that we're meant to continue with, and a spiritual practice that we're meant to continue with. The blackberry symbolizes prosperity, which is quite the opposite of what others may have been expecting out of us in our endeavors. Perhaps others were expecting nothing but disappointment, only to be met with graceful persistence instead, as well as that strength. Graceful persistence and strength. Isn't that something? We can act fiercely while also maintaining our dignity. Love wants us to remember our worth and guard it closely. Having a keen eye will protect us as vigilant observers from some kind of disappointment that's being projected our way. There's also this air of caution to be on the lookout for others. Again, earlier, that message of playful mischief becoming something much different and worse. We're being guided to be on the lookout for that and just cut ties or just avoid communication with those who are intentionally trying to get our goats, and remain strong with the elk and the ash. Continue gathering our strength ahead of a challenge, facing them with confidence in our own stamina, taming any unruly elements that are trying to derail us. Mission already failed, sisters. We're being guided to remain sturdy and resolute. This is the second card indicating that we are able to flourish even in the harshest of environments. What is love asking us to embrace in terms of guidance? Balance, remain balanced. There's that dragonfly. I was sharing briefly about the spiritual meaning of the dragonfly yesterday evening on someone else's live, and then I fell asleep with her live on. She probably thinks I was ignoring her or like disappeared on her and bailed on her when in all actuality I just fell asleep. um, Anywho's, the dragonfly and pansy were taking me on a little bit of an oracle side quest. We are going to navigate effortlessly through these upcoming challenges, beloveds. With this dragonfly and pansy, continue investing in our health and our confidence. Continue investing in our health and confidence. What else does love want us to realize in terms of guidance? We are capable, benevolent leaders. We are called to be the stewards of this planet. Whether others like it or not. They may mimic our words and mock our words intentionally and say, oh, they're just having a little fun, just being playful. Didn't your mama ever tell you not to go put your hands in a wolf's face? Something about that being a little too rough in play. Holy Spirit just said they were being a little too rough in play. We're still being called to be a mentor. Even the ones mocking us may be in need of some counsel. Accepting a leadership role in our community with commitment and loyalty. Protecting our found family and community from the deceit. Little do these mockers realize we are that trusted friend who could help them find their way. But it's like they have the attitude of, they would be the last person I would turn to ask for help. Some of them even booked appointments with me just so that they could pump me for ideas for their own content. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of source. That's relevant to somebody. Somebody can relate to that out there. Guidance. But love wants us to realize that dreams are still going to come true for us. This is yet another card representing patience. An outcome that we have been anticipating is going to work out in our favor. But in terms of guidance, Remain still yet alert. No longer dwelling in fantasy. Think about practical steps that we can take, moving onward and upward. Some of even our wildest, most positive dreams are coming true for us. So powerful that we might think we're imagining things. They're going to have us in such awe that it's going to appear like we're in a trance-like state. What other guidance is love asking us to embrace at this time? Source, Holy Spirit. Loyalty. Remain true to ourselves and others no matter what. Our kindness and loyalty have been noted, and our true friends appreciate us. They may have been harshly or irrationally judging us, feeling undeserving of kindness and friendship. Little do they know that they don't have to face it alone. They can accept our companionship and avoid lashing out at those they care for. Seems as though they may be easily bruised and may require a little bit more tenderness from others at this time. Healing wounds in the immediate environment. We, as those of us who are healers, are being called to assist others. The badger and the ginkgo, yet another form of stewardship. That's our mission. The stewardship is the mission. The healing is just one of many assignments, Holy Spirit just said. Healing wounds. Someone hurt us and they may not even be aware of it. We're being guided to be gentle with ourselves as well. It seems as though we may have this common bond with another in terms of healing wounds. But we're being guided to be careful about trauma bonding. Inflicted wounds on all parties that may promote an unhealthy bond. We'll just put it that way. All right. Any closing guidance from this deck, please? Had one turn sideways. Intuitions. Continue following our own intuitions in our next steps. including with those who are being deceitful and putting it off as playful mischief. Holy Spirit just said. Equal fairness. Fairness and equanimity. Approaching the deceitful ones the same way that we would a friend, with the equal kindness and grace. Holy Spirit just said. Equal kindness and grace. Our instincts can be relied upon. Trusting in what we are hearing, trusting in our intuitions. Guardians of the night and the day. Loyal healers who have dreams coming true for us, as our mission is to work with and in both the night and the day, the dark and the light. As we are capable of all of it, Holy Spirit just said. We are capable of all of it. Continue trusting our intuitions no matter what, because they are not failing us. Alright? Now, the other day, the Rose Without Thorns came out for us from my creation, my shadow work deck, my work. Just trying to find it here, because I shuffled it back into the deck. Something about spontaneous support. Something about spontaneous support and the Rose Without Thorns. And now I'm struggling to find the correct card. Here it is. The spontaneous card is the Rose Without Thorns. See the rose in her hair? Ah, silly me. Alright. It's a message in terms of this energy is that of the spontaneous muse, guided by whimsy, reminding us of the magic and unpredictability, acting on impulses, embracing change, and going where the wind takes us with enthusiasm and zest, embracing spontaneity, freedom to act spontaneously, and reminding us that unplanned moments can lead to some of life's most memorable experiences. So whatever this unexpected change is, these unexpected events coming in for us, we're being guided to embrace them. One happy, joyful dream come true at a time. And of course, to continue following our instincts, as they have not failed us. Let's now take a look at the rose without thorns from the Rose Oracle. As soon as I get to it. There it is, Rose Without Thorns. And we're actually going to go into a most likely outcome with this deck as well. Beginning with the Rose Without Thorns for guidance as well as most likely outcome. We have a right to our joy, peace, and sweetness of life. That is part of our guidance and our outcome. Embracing that peace, the joy, the sweetness of life, as well as our birthright. That joy is our birthright. Rose without thorns. The Rose Without Thorns wants us to take every ounce of our joy in right now, to celebrate and lose ourselves in the sweetness of life. A rare moment in time of deep peace and enjoyment is coming in for us, and we're being called to taste it all. Taste every bit that it has to offer. We deserve every drop. We've worked hard for this moment, being guided to embrace that new coming in. It's going to be safe for us to enjoy it, welcome it, embody it. Right now, to be in the delight of it all as we dive straight into the sweetness. Rest in the softness and enjoy. Relish what it means to be currently alive. in these bodies. Let's keep going and draw this to a close with the Rose Oracle. Guidance and most likely outcome. Holy Spirit. The sacred union. Beloved within inner and outer relationships. Our relationship with ourselves is going to improve. Relationships with others are going to improve. But our capability to form new relationships with others is also going to improve. Sacred unions coming in. More sacred unions coming in for the collective. We're being invited to return again and again to the most important relationship we'll ever have, and that's the one with ourselves. But also being invited to grow through relationships. Feeling as though we've been being tested or stretched and finding ourselves longing for something external. We're being guided to deepen the connection within and embrace ourselves more fully. Treating ourselves like the most precious person on the planet. And the more we embrace that feeling and the more embraced we feel, the easier it is to embrace others. Even in our most challenging relationships, especially the most challenging ones. A sacred union coming in that is also an invitation to deepen that union with ourselves. And right behind that, the reunion. Already showing its potential in our immediate environment with soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, and friendship. More of that coming in for us as part of the outcome. But also embracing the inner winter and the fertile void. Secret beginnings. Secret beginnings. Patience out again. Our patience has been extremely relevant throughout this time. Holy Spirit said for some of us throughout our entire lifetime. Those sacred unions and reunions are going to be potent. Potent. Potent new beginnings. Saying yes with the open card right behind that. Expanding even through extremes and trusting in life. While slowing down and tending to our own garden with the wastelands. Releasing old programming of competition, opening ourselves to relationships and collaborations. It's safe for us to trust and co-create, just not with the ones who've been mocking us on purpose, knowing that eventually we will see it. But one or more people are entering our life. We're being called to co-create and decide to bloom together. Reveal ourselves to the world. Open our heart and mind to collaboration rather than competition. We're being encouraged to say yes to life, expanding even through the extremes, and put our 2 feet wholly and completely in. Living and dying with our heart open is truly a courageous act. A life well lived is full of loss and tragedy, as well as great love, triumph, and adventures. We've been going through difficult times where we most wanted to separate. The healing is often found in the connection, not the separation. When we close our heart and shut down because the pain is too much, we often find ourselves more separate than before. The rose shows us how to open to the world, no matter what the day brings. Say yes to life. Release anything that makes us brittle. Tend to our own gardens, bodies, and the earth around us. This is a wake-up call to stop engaging with those who have been bringing destructive behavior or otherwise do not engage at all. With that keen observer eye, we will pick up on it. Ahead of the curve, Holy Spirit just said. We are ahead of the curve in the ability to see right through the illusions, right through the deception, masked as playful mischief, but only with some others. It's not to say that everyone who insists that it's only playful mischief is actually intending to be deceitful or cause harm or bring it our way. We know that we never need to take more than that is necessary to keep a balance. As the keepers of balance and protectors of all living things, that steward card came out in the Woodland Wardens. The fertile void is our closing message. This is a phase of initiation, renewal, and rebirth for us. Metaphorically going underground by coming to a standstill and allowing ourselves to recover and rest. Realizing it is the most important part of our growth at this time, It takes faith and surrender to do it. Trust in the sureness of the soil. The new is being woven without us having to micromanage every move. The new is coming in for us without having to lift a finger, beloveds. This is a very tender yet powerful time for us. And we're being guided to surrender to the great mystery. Surrender to that destination unknown. Thank you so very much, Multiversal Soul Amelia, for tuning in with much gratitude and appreciation from my heart chakra to yours, brightest of blessings and agape omni love to all. And one more thing, I love you.